First of all, before we get into Shannon Sharpe and his wokeness, I just want to say happy Thanksgiving to everybody. Thanksgiving is my favorite holiday of the year. There's no pressure on Thanksgiving, no worrying about buying people gifts. All you really have to worry about is having plenty of stomach medicine because you eat too much and watching the NFL all day. Now, of course, the NFL is going to be a bit different this Thanksgiving. The Ravens and Steelers, the best game of the day, has been pushed back until Sunday because of the COVID. And speaking of the COVID, politicians across the country are once again using the pandemic as an excuse to try to ruin your life. Oh yeah, we can't have Thanksgiving this year. It's too dangerous. It will be a super spreader. You know, one of my cousins is a far left dude. And we talked throughout the week about political issues. He's a great guy. And we agree on some things politically, but we disagree 100% on the COVID. He texted me the other day, and he was telling me how irresponsible it was for the family to have Thanksgiving this year. Because, of course, the COVID. He said getting everyone together into a big group is irresponsible, and we risk making everybody sick. So I asked him, are you still going to the bar 2 or 3 nights a week? He said yes. I said, are you still going to work out at the paper mill with hundreds of people out there? He said yes. So I asked him, what the hell is the difference between those two things and having Thanksgiving? Both the bar and where he works are large gatherings of people. And of course, he had no valid response because just like most policies of these people, their policies are always good for you, but not for them. You know, you follow the rules, but they follow their own set of rules. Anyway, it's been a while since we've talked about woke politics invading sports on this channel. And the reason being, since the NBA finished up, there really hasn't been much wokeness in sports. After week 1, the NFL pretty much abandoned woke politics, thank God. I don't watch ESPN, but I haven't seen anything with guys like Stephen A. or Max Kellerman being political lately. Past couple of weeks, I actually started to think that maybe, just maybe, they were starting to get the point and everything was going to go back to normal. And by normal, I mean when you tune into ESPN or FS1, you hear them discussing sports, not social issues. Well, just as we seem to be turning the corner, Brother Woke, Shannon Sharpe, he decides to once again share his wokeness with us. Up until a few months ago, I actually liked Shannon Sharpe and Skip Bayless. I watched Undisputed every morning in my office at work. Thought their show was a whole lot better than First Take on ESPN. I can't stomach Shannon Sharpe or Skip Bayless anymore. Skip Bayless has went from a man who was never afraid to voice his opinion, no matter how controversial it was, to a man who on a daily basis, it seems like, sucks up to the woke community. I mean, the groveling from Skip Bayless is sickening. I wish I could play the video of Shannon Sharpe's comments earlier this week for you, but I don't want to deal with the copyright strike from YouTube. So instead, I'm going to read them to you. Let me give you the backstory first. The Dallas Cowboys have been struggling all season, but ever since Dak Prescott was lost for the season against the Giants, the Cowboys have been an absolute mess. They have been painful to watch. Before Sunday's game against the Vikings, Dallas was 0-4 since Dak was lost for the year. They had scored 41 points the last 4 games. Mike McCarthy decided that he needed to find a way to motivate his team. In my video yesterday, when I was talking about Tom Brady and Bruce Arians, I told you guys that coaches in the NFL who use psychology effectively are oftentimes successful. And that is exactly what Mike McCarthy did. He wanted to find a way to bring his team together, to motivate them. So Saturday night, he brought in a bunch of watermelons with different team objectives written on them. And he brought a sledgehammer. And Mike McCarthy proceeded to smash the hell out of the watermelons. Some of the players even got involved, DeMarcus Lawrence being one of them. Obviously, it worked. Sunday afternoon in Minnesota, the Cowboys played their best game of the season. They put up 31 points, which is 10 points less than they had scored the previous 4 weeks combined. The defense, which is the worst in the NFL, forced 2 turnovers. For the first time in over a month, the Dallas Cowboys actually looked like an NFL team. They looked like they were having fun. There was cohesion, team unity. All good, right? Mike McCarthy should be given credit, right? Well, not according to Shannon Sharpe. Shannon Sharpe was offended. This was racist. You guys should check out the video on your own so you can see his reaction. But for the time being, let me just read Shannon Sharpe's comments for you. Quote, "Hell no, I don't think it's fun. Listen, dear white America, anytime you have black people in your presence, watermelon has a negative connotation. Let it go, let it go. Things that were acceptable many, many years ago, even though it wasn't acceptable, it was tolerated, is unacceptable now and will not be tolerated. Black players, if you need somebody, a white man, smashing watermelons to get you motivated, you're in the wrong line of business. It's not funny. It's not cute. I don't get these young players anymore. I really don't." End quote. The entire time that Shannon Sharpe is going off on this diatribe of his, Skip Bayless is in the background, agreeing with him. Preach, brother. Preach. Here we go again. Here we go again. These guys just don't get it. If players in that Cowboys locker room had an issue with what Mike McCarthy did, I could understand Shannon Sharpe coming to their defense. But they didn't. From every report that I've read, the Cowboys players actually enjoyed it. They liked it. Obviously, they responded well to it because they came out and played their best game of the season. Instead of Shannon Sharpe being happy for them, he comes out and he criticizes the players for being okay with a white man smashing a watermelon. Who the hell thinks like this? Who lives this way? I don't understand it. Why do these people make everything about race? It's like Shannon Sharpe is constantly looking for something to be offended by. You know why Shannon Sharpe doesn't get these young guys? Because they're not woke. They're not looking to be offended. They're not looking at a white man smashing a watermelon as an attack on their skin color. Instead, they're just looking at it for what it is. Their head coach looking for a fun way to get his team motivated, to get his team united. They didn't look at it as a racial thing because they have a brain. They know Mike McCarthy had no ill intentions with what he was doing. Not everything has to be about race. I commend the guys in that locker room in Dallas. Good for you. They could have turned this into a racial controversy. They could have turned this into an ugly situation, and in this political climate, probably would have gotten Mike McCarthy fired. But they didn't, because they're not looking for ways to be offended. Shannon Sharpe is inauthentic. He is inauthentic. I don't believe for 1 second that he was offended by what Mike McCarthy did. He saw this as an opportunity to increase ratings. He saw this as an opportunity to get his name in the headlines, to put attention on himself. And it worked. He got plenty of attention. All negative, of course. Because what Shannon Sharpe apparently doesn't realize is that the vast majority of people are sick and tired of hearing about woke racial politics. People are tired of these personalities trying to divide everybody on race. I would tell you the television ratings for Undisputed with woke brothers Skip and Shannon, but they're so low, they're not available. The only thing I could find were ratings from a couple of years ago, in which they were drawing about 130,000 viewers. There are YouTube personalities who have a bigger audience than that. And what makes this even worse to me, Skip Bayless is a diehard fan of the Dallas Cowboys. Instead of coming to the defense of Mike McCarthy, instead of coming to the defense of his Cowboys, he agreed with Shannon Sharpe. You know why? Because Skip Bayless has no balls. He's the white man who is afraid to disagree with the African-American co-host because he's afraid he would be called a racist for doing so, which makes Skip Bayless as inauthentic as Shannon Sharpe is. I'm tired of the phony outrage. I'm tired of these sports personalities going out of their way to find something to spark controversy. The phony outrage can ruin someone's life. It doesn't take much for someone to get canceled by this woke culture. I'm done with Shannon Sharpe and Skip Bayless. I'm done with them. It is far past time for people with common sense to quit supporting garbage like this. The woke brethren, they like to pounce and cancel anyone that disagrees with them or offends them. It's time for people with common sense to just start tuning these people out. All right, that's all for today. Hit that like and subscribe button. Click the notification bell to receive all notifications from the channel. Leave me a comment in the section below. What do you guys think of Shannon Sharpe's comments on Mike McCarthy? Do you agree with him? Or do you think it's phony outrage from yet another woke sports personality? Let me know your thoughts. You can follow me on Twitter at KC_BTL84. Best way to contact me is by email at BTLKC84@gmail.com. Enjoy your Thanksgiving. I'll see you guys next time.